जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Three teams have got a Q next to their name, three teams have got an E next to their name, and three teams are looking for that fourth spot. The incredible Premier League is at its full flow. And Michael Vaughan was feeling the FOMO, which is why we've got him right back onto that red chair. Along with him, the man who always gives us a lot of joy. Welcome, Joyda. Welcome, gentlemen. So good to have you back here, Michael.
Yeah, good to be back. Flew in this afternoon, which was great. I've been watching at home. The IPL just seems to go on forever. I was here a few weeks ago and it's still going on. We've still got around 9 days of the IPL, but yeah, looking forward to particularly the next few days and particularly tomorrow night. That's going to be a humdinger.
Well, it's at the business end and we still don't know who the fourth team is. So clearly the IPL is giving us some pretty nail-biting games because that game tomorrow is going to be the big decider. Of course, today Lucknow take on Mumbai. But three teams, Joyda, have got that Q next to their name.
No, not only that. If you look at that table, the one thing, what is the great thing about the IPL? If you look at it compared to even the Premier League, the top 10 teams, the top team and the last team, there's just basically 4-5 victories separating them. And I'm telling you, Mumbai could reach 5 and then there'd be just 4 separating them. And you've had 1-ball finishes, 2-run finishes. You know, this easily, Mumbai could just as easily be sitting on 7.
Yes.
So what it tells you is that the equality in the IPL is actually unparalleled in world sport. I mean, the 10th team can quite easily beat the first team and it will not be looked upon as an upset because, you know, in terms of pure strengths, they are very evenly matched. I think that's one of the great things about the auction. It sort of evens out the playing field a lot. And every year we say, no, this year is going to be a blowout. And there's a pattern every year. So like 20 days before you say, okay, these are the top teams. It's all set. You know, the rest of the tournament is going to be a bore. And then 10 days later, say, oh, wait, hold on, something interesting is happening. 5 days before you say, we don't know what's happening. And you're back to square one. So it's incredible how the IPL manages to do that every year.
Yeah, they just give it to us time and time again. Well, this is going to be Mumbai's last game. They haven't had the best of the season, but they have gotten off to a good start today. They have won the toss and they have decided to bowl first. So that's good news for Mumbai. Started with a winning start today. But the season, Michael, is just a season that they'll not want to remember at all. Nothing has gone right for them. 2022, they were number 10. This year around, again, they're number 10. If they win today, they could temporarily go up to number 9. But it's just a season that they want to forget.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mumbai, we're so used to talking about Mumbai Indians as a champion team. You know, Rohit Sharma, 5-time a captain who's lifted the trophy. In the last 3 years, all right, they kind of snuck into the qualifications last year, but it was just a sneaking through the back door. To think that we're talking about the Mumbai Indians, you know, playing for a wooden spoon. I mean, it's all that talent, all that, particularly in the batting department. I don't think they've got a great bowling attack. I think Bumrah's a standout. He would walk into, I would say, if you were, you know, all the management groups around the international teams and all the franchise teams around, and you say, go and you've got one bowler to pick, I think you go, Jaffrey Bumrah. He's going to get in every single team. So he's a standout. Apart from that, you know, their bowling's not been up to scratch, and it's that batting department that really, if they were going to go towards the qualifications and to go on and win it this year, it was going to be that batting strength that was going to have to win it, and they've just been too inconsistent.
But what has gone wrong for them? Because this cycle, clearly, we've seen them last in 2022 and again now. So what do you think has gone so drastically wrong?
So I think one big mistake they made right up front was, remember that they invested in, they paid 8 crores to go and get Jofra Archer. And they thought that they wouldn't get him. They thought it was a smart idea, and it was, they thought it through that, okay, he doesn't play this year, next year he comes. For 8 crores, we get a guy who was the most valuable player in the IPL 3-4 years back. Okay? So that's what they thought would happen. And what happened? He didn't come back that year also. Next year he came back, he was injured, played a few games. This year he's not there again. So what happens is that the Jofra investment has gone waste. Who do they leave out when they pick Jofra? Trent Bolt. So they took away the one bowling partner, one consistently wicket-taking opening bowler in the IPL. There hasn't been a more consistent opening bowler to take wickets in the IPL. Even Bumrah doesn't have that strike rate in the first 6 overs. So by doing that, you've immediately hamstrung your attack.
Yes.
And the second thing is from year to 2022, they just, I mean, yes, this is not the greatest place in the world for spinners, but they just haven't had any spinners. You used to have Kunal Pandya doing it. You used to have
Rahul
Chahar doing it for you. You have nobody now.
They kind of backed Mayank Markande for a few years and then let him go. But we've spoken about this earlier, that bowlers win you tournaments, batters can win you matches, but bowlers win you tournaments. Do you think it was the bowling department that has let Mumbai down?
Yeah, and I guess in their planning process over the last few years, Jofra would have been a big part of that. He's obviously picked up an injury, so there's a little bit of misfortune. But you think, Joy makes a really good point about Trent Boult. He's world class.
Yes.
He's not that far behind Bumrah, in terms of the consistency that he produces for all the teams that he plays for. Look, I'll mention the elephant. The captaincy's not helped. That really has been, I would say, the main reason this year that they haven't looked a collective unit. There's been too many problems with the captaincy. Hardik coming back, Rohit being replaced. Rohit, before the World Cup, maybe had indications of not being the Indian T20 World Cup captain, but once the World Cup went well for him, he gets the job for the World Cup in the West Indies and obviously the States. He should have carried on as captain. That's my view, that Rohit Sharma is such a wonderful captain for Mumbai. All right, it's not been great in the last couple of years, but he's such a powerful leader. He's such a calm leader, and he's so respected by all his team. He knows exactly how the Mumbai Indians operate. I think that's their big mistake this year, was not having Rohit as captain.
But on the other side, Joyda, Lucknow, they've qualified twice. This year around, they wanted to qualify, make it a hat-trick. They started off well. They won 3 games out of 4, and then the back end hasn't been very good for you. This is that first cycle that they're playing. It feels like they've been playing forever, but this is their first cycle. What has impressed you the most?
See, I'll tell you, if you look at Lucknow, and these numbers tell you something, that behind Gujarat and Rajasthan, they're the third most successful side. And they really, really did well to defend targets, especially on their home ground. They knew how to really restrict it. It's a very, it was Gautam Gambhir's team. Gautam, Gambhir, Vijay Dahiya, they put it together in the auction. And I'll tell you, winning against Mumbai and against Chennai, it's interesting. When we finished the auction, I was part of we were covering for Cricbuzz the auction in 2022. And the first side that actually signed off, which looked as if it ticked all the boxes in terms of batting, bowling, all-rounders in a team, the first team was Lucknow. They looked a very complete team, lots of all-rounders, okay? But what has happened is they've sort of been, to be in the top 4 among the top 10 is still a terrific record, because that's what they've done over the first 2 years. Both them and Gujarat, 2 young sides have come in and just been there. But what they haven't managed to do is just cross the hump, And I think to a certain extent, it's the fact that their bowling doesn't travel well, because, they haven't got those sort of premier fast bowlers. Injuries have also played a part. People like Mark Wood coming in and out. Mayank Yadav this year getting injured. Remember, they were looking really good till Mayank Yadav was bowling and winning matches for them. The moment Mayank Yadav goes out, and that's what, he's been talking about also, that, when somebody in the bowling goes out like that, some powerful piece goes out like that, it makes a huge difference.
But Michael, like Joyda said, on paper they look like the most balanced side. Do you think going into the mega auction you'll see a lot of changes around, or do you think they go with this core team?
Oh, I think they'll go with the core. I think they'll want 1 or 2 new players to come in, as all the teams will. But Justin Langer, it's his first year really operating with this group. I think they'll be better next year for this year. I think we talk about the players so much, but the coaching department as well. It's a long tournament. I think the more you can be here, look at Stephen Fleming, he's been here from day dot, and he just knows how to operate. He knows exactly what the players need, he knows exactly what his team need, he knows exactly what his coaches need. And I think that only comes with experience. So I know Justin Langer really well. He's a very, very disciplined coach. He'll have taken a lot of notes from this year's, not just performances on the field, but he'll also be open and honest about maybe 1 or 2 mistakes they've made off the field in terms of preparation, travel. All these things add up at the end of the 2-month tournament, that if you can get the 1% things right, they add up. If you get 10 or 15 of those right consistently over the course of 2 months, you then start to get a more consistent performance on the field and off the field. So I do think they'll be a lot better next year on the back of Justin having a full year this year.
Joyda, you spoke about how the bowling department has kind of let them down. But if you were to talk about, one positive and one negative from this year's campaign, what would it be?
I think they used Stoinis better this year. It didn't always work, but I think Stoinis at 3 gives them something. What happens when you have a lot of all-rounders? And that's what Lucknow did. They did a very, old school thing, get 4 or 5 all-rounders, so you always have a good mix, and then you can throw them in, you can be very flexible about the batting order. In real life, it's not that easy because players like positions, players like to know what they're doing in a team. They don't like floating. So there are very few players who can honestly float. I think giving Stoinis for 3 is a good thing. It's a good decision. Either opening or 3, saying you're going to bat in the top 3 for us. I think that's what they did right. I think the way they developed Mayank Yadav and got him in was right. Unfortunately, the best laid plans of mice and men. Because had he been there, and the third, I thought that, Mohsin Khan coming back has made a difference for them. I think Mohsin Khan is, he again had a career-threatening injury.
Yes.
And the fact that he's come back is great. I think a little bit more support. If Mayank Yadav was there, this bowling unit would have looked much better.
All right, let's have a look at Lucknow's playing 11 and see if they have any changes for today. 2 changes in. Devdutt Padikkal is in and Matt Henry is in. There's no Quinton de Kock in that playing 11. This is their batting 11. So is that a surprise for you, Michael?
Well, it's an indication that he won't be getting retained. If you're not playing the last game, I'd say that's not great news for Quinton, but he hasn't had a great time of it. He's looked out of kind of sorts with the way that we've been so used to seeing him play. He's a wonderful player, very dynamic, such a destructor at the top of the order in that first 6 overs, and he's just not really. He's not been firing for a while. He's just kind of not saying he's not trying, but I always think when people step aside from Test match cricket, you're kind of you're on the way down. It's very, very difficult to keep your performance levels up. That's why I love Test match cricket, because I think it keeps all these players in cricket form. Playing the game, longer format of the game in terms of the body, the minds, the mentality. So Quinton, just look at those numbers on the screen. He's had a difficult time of it.
Joyda, I was looking at those numbers. The strike rate column there, it's not quite the strike rate people are batting at this season.
No, exactly. I mean, we are playing in a different, anything below 150, 160 for an opener today is no longer acceptable. Because in the power play overs, you have to score at that or at least more than that if you've got to make a difference. So I think that's a huge thing. He must be really out of it because this is a pitch, Wankhede suits him to a T. He scored a lot of runs out here for Mumbai as well. So for him not to play here, in fact, he's not only scored runs for Mumbai out here, he scored runs for Lucknow against Mumbai out here as well. So for them not to play him here tells you that, he's really not a part of it. Nice to see Matt Henry bowling. I mean, one of our Cricbuzz panelists had something to do with it. He gave a number over to the Lucknow management and they called up Matt Henry and they got him there. So hell.
Well, we've seen only 3 planes on that playing 11. So the impact list for Lucknow, I guess, will have 2 planes. There's Ashton Turner there and Naveen ul Haq. So we see Naveen ul Haq coming in?
Yeah, so what happens out there is that if their batting does not collapse and they don't need Ashton Turner, then it's Naveen ul Haq.
Yes.
But if they're 45 for 3 and wickets go down, then they might need to bring in Turner, then they bring in Turner.
All right, let's have a look at Mumbai's playing 11. There are a few surprises in that playing 11. There are 3 changes there. The big one is there is no Jasprit Bumrah in that playing 11. There's no Tim David either. But we see Mr. Tendulkar coming in to...
This is their bowling 11, right?
This is
so I assume Rohit Sharma will be in the
Yes.
batting 11, yeah.
We'll just have a look at the impact list as well. Like we see, there is Rohit Sharma, of course, in that impact sub, which we'll see him coming in later. He wants to put his leg up and not field.
Come on, give him that. He's won 5 championships for you. Let him sit outside. Let him not have to. And one of the matches, he was a boundary rider.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry.
And diving around.
Yeah,
he was diving around.
Great for him, bully for him. But you don't want to see before a World Cup Rohit Sharma diving around in the boundary. I'm sorry. It's not a good idea. It's just not a good idea for India's campaign. So definitely not. But can we go back to the 11? Because there's some interesting
for
things out
India's
there.
campaign, it's, I think, also positive that there's no Bumrah.
Yeah.
Not so much for the MI campaign, but for the India campaign.
But the bright side of it, if you look at it that way, is to say that, if a Bumrah has to be replaced by a name, let that be a Tendulkar. It's a like-for-like name in terms of, surname quality in cricket, A Bumrah
he finally gets a game in. Yeah,
I was just looking up. I mean, his last game for Goa, he got 4 wickets in the first innings. He got a second wicket, scored 45 runs. He can bat a bit as well. You should take him back to your player.
I honestly think for a young player's development, it'd do a lot worse than coming and play cricket in England. After the IPL, come to England and play 2 or 3 months of cricket, whether that's in the leagues on a Saturday, he might play a bit of second team cricket with a county. For his development as a young person and I can only imagine the spotlight that's on Arjun when he plays here in Mumbai at the Wankhede with his dad's statue, or Steve Smith's statue in the corner, looking over. I can only imagine the pressure, but I do think
that to see it.
For him as a cricketer, I do think it'd be worth him coming to England to play some cricket.
Well, the Mr. Tendulkar has come in for Bumrah today. So there is no Bumrah, which is the big news. But there is a certain Mr. Rohit Sharma who's going to be in that impact sub. I would like to ask you all, is probably this the last time we are seeing Rohit Sharma in Mumbai colours? I think he might need some jaldi cooling, which is why let's ask our experts for their coolest advice, powered by Crompton Air Coolers Jaldi Cooling. We know what Rohit Sharma is to Mumbai Indians. You can't imagine the team without Rohit Sharma. But considering all that's gone down, considering the captaincy saga, considering his age right now, do you see him in Mumbai colours again next year, Michael?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think of kind of who they would retain. Sky, obviously, Bumrah, Tilak Varma, probably. I mean, would Rohit be a retention? I see him as a captain. You know, I think when you've won the title 5 times, and particularly the older you get, I think it's quite good to be an old captain in T20 cricket because the ball flies everywhere and you need a calm head. And he's as calm and as cool as any captain, I guess, after MS Dhoni. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes to another franchise and he captains that franchise. I just think if I was in charge of one of the other 7 or 8, 9 franchises here in the IPL and I knew that Rohit Sharma was available, I'd be thinking, I think we'll take Rohit the batter, but also have him as the captain as well. But
Joyda, do you think in the mega auction, if Rohit goes out, do you see someone picking him as a captain, or will he be happy just going in another team as a batter?
So if you see his record has been absolutely sensational. His record as a captain, and look at that, 5 titles, 226 sixes, 5,000, more than 5,000 runs as a Mumbai batter, 158 games. And what are we talking about? We're talking about one of the greats of the game. I mean, Rohit Sharma is one of the consistent. If you look at it, there's Raina, there's Warner, there's Rohit Sharma, there's Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers, Virat. These 6-7 names are the greats of the IPL. And Rohit Sharma deserves to be in that category, definitely. Look, my only interesting part to this is, I feel slightly differently, is that I'm just looking around the franchises. See, a very similar example was when KKR released Gautam Gambhir in 2018. So 3 franchises bid for him. Punjab bid for him, Rajasthan bid for him. Finally, Delhi got him at 2.8. And he played 5 matches as captain, then gave up captaincy for Shreyas Iyer, who is now captaining KKR in a twist of fate. But saying that I don't want to captain anymore, yes. I want to do it. Rohit might just, Rohit, if a team says that, we want you to shepherd young kids in for a while, I think he'll do it. But I was just looking around and saying, I can't see that one team who wants him as captain.
As captain.
But a lot of guys would say, and Rohit today will say, I'm happy to come play free cricket for a while, play a couple of years, enjoy myself, and let's see where it goes. Put my price at 2 crores. Let's see who picks me up where.
But why would you not see him doing that in Mumbai then?
It won't work, because I think what has happened now in Mumbai is that air has changed. If Mumbai doesn't retain him, I don't think he'd want them to go and pick him up in the auction again. And I think sometimes it's better to move on for both sakes. It's not worked out. I think they know the dynamic. Again, they'll have to try and solve that dynamic, whether it works or it doesn't work. But I think what he can do is, say, for example, a KKR would love to have. So Gautam Gambhir again has gone on record saying that we were never scared of Chris Gayle. We were never scared of AB de Villiers. The one person we were scared of was Rohit Sharma. So if Gautam can get Rohit Sharma, he would have a heart attack right now and he just say, just come join now. So there'll be enough. And KKR is by far not the only team. There are many teams who'd love to have
He loves playing at the Eden Gardens.
He loves playing at the Eden Gardens.
But the thing about KKR this year, they found their opening combination. They've got Salt and Narine. Salt's not here for the eliminations because he's gone back home. But, I think that combination will start again next year for KKR because they've been so destructive. Is it beyond the realms that they could just get things right at Mumbai and get Rohit as a captain again, or is that just out of the equation?
I think they've gone too far down that road.
So Hardik's the captain next year, whatever happens.
Look, I guess
they'll have to
if
stick
Rohit
by
comes as captain, Hardik doesn't. I don't see Hardik staying. If Rohit comes back as captain, I don't see Hardik staying. But I think that relationship...
But again, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. So Hardik can only play for Mumbai if he's the captain?
I think no. I think he...
Because I've watched him this year and I don't think it's helped him.
No, I don't
I think it'd have been better coming to Mumbai as the player with Rohit captain, and then he just gets back into the system, being the player, the brilliant all-rounder that we know he is. The weight that's been on his shoulders this year with everything that's been talked about, captaining that Mumbai Indians with Rohit Sharma there being the player, I think that's been very
But just considering it's a mega auction, considering that you're looking at a 3-year span again, you'll keep that in mind as well, right? Rohit Sharma with the age.
So that's what I'm saying, that if Rohit goes for 3-4 crores, gives you 2 good years.
So apparently Gautam Gambhir didn't, he requested KKR not to bid for him.
No,
so
he requested KKR not to bid for him, saying that, I want to go back to Delhi, But you can't choose that. More than one team bid for him. Eventually Delhi won the highest bid. But the truth of it is that that's it. I mean, if he goes out, if Rohit is, you're buying Rohit for 10 crores or 16 crores, you're saying that, okay, I need 3 years out of him. But if you're saying that I'm going to get Rohit at the auction and his base price is 2 crores and I can pick him up for 3-4 crores, I would pick him up for a couple of years. He's a steal.
Yes.
He's an absolute steal. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think you're wrong in the sense that, Michael, that may be the best way for Mumbai to go. I agree with you. I just think it's very difficult because it needs a backtrack from 2 people. It needs a backtrack from the Mumbai management and it needs a backtrack from Hardik. I think all that needs to happen to make that happen. And that's my only point. That I think it's the best thing. If Hardik had come back and said, I'll play a year under Rohit, next year, who knows whether Rohit will want to play on or not, and let's see what happens after that. I think none of this would have happened. Hardik coming was never the problem. Hardik being captain was the problem.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope that Rohit ends on a high because this is Mumbai's last match. So we can just hope as MI fans and Indian fans, he ends on a high. Let's have a look at the coolest advice, the 2 winners we have for today and the advice that you all have given us for the match today. Ankit says, Tilak Verma is in form. He should come to bat at number 3 so he can settle and score runs for Mumbai and make big targets or chase big targets, and also Sky at number 4, he scored 102 against Hyderabad. All right, Ankit. Next up, we've got Nikhil, who says that 1 bullet pointers here. Hardik needs to bat higher up, number 3 or 4, to see if he addresses Mumbai's batting issues and hopefully his own personal form. 2, Mumbai should back Brevis and rope him in as he can be a gun player for them, although he didn't fare as expected thus far this season. Well, Nikhil, they have heard you. Thank you for writing this advice in, because clearly everyone's listening to our advice. So these are our 2 winners for today. You all know the drill. If you all want to win prizes, not too many days remaining, write in with your coolest advice on hashtag coolest advice powered by Crompton Air Coolers Jaldi Cooling. And 2 winners each match. So jaldi se write in. And after this advice, we've also gotten a whole lot of questions that have come for you all. So let's have a look at the Ask CB for today. Pallavi asks us, it's been a dismal season bearing a few highs provided by Stoinis, Puran and at times KL Rahul. Who are your 4 Lucknow retentions for the next season?
Well, I'll start with 2 of those to start with, Stoinis and Puran.
Yes.
The captain's not really been in incredible form, and I don't think his captaincy has been... The decision he made in Delhi when he decided to chase at a venue where all the games have been won by batting first, I thought that was very odd. And then obviously the team were blown away by Travis Head and going 9 point whatever overs. That can happen, but I certainly would take the first 2.
And any more? 4 of them, so...
And I probably would say loyal to KL Rahul. I think he's a very senior player. I think he can play better than he has done this year. So there's 3. The 4th one, Joy, who do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say Mayank Yadav.
Yeah.
Because, talent, you keep him 1 year, 156, that kind of bowling, that speed. 2, and not only that, so Umran Malik is also fast, but he's got 2 man of the match awards in 2 matches. I mean, he's given not just pace, that penetration he's got. So Mayank Yadav definitely, even if it works out, he works out. And I'd say KL, right now, the relationship, I don't know whether KL also would want to stay given all that's happened. So I'd say Ravi Vishnu is the other person who I think is a consistent performer for them. Because
Interesting.
in the kind of pitches that they have, probably two batters and then Bishnoi and this thing probably gives you a bit more balance.
Well, Pallavi, thanks for writing in. These were their retentions. Just wanted an update on the toss. Mumbai won it and they will be fielding first. Michael, you were talking about KL Rahul and how his captaincy hasn't really impressed you this season. But also KL Rahul, the batter, he's been under immense pressure. The strike rate has been a problem with him this season. And also, he has been kind of Quinton de Kock not in form. So he's had that pressure as well. What can we expect from KL in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, he's just not found his rhythm. I mean, he's a wonderful player. I actually think he's more suited to 50 overs than Test match cricket. I think that's his game, really. T20 cricket is a little bit more for the baseball style. Cowboys, I call them. And he's not one of those. He's a pure player. I mean, that innings he played against the Sunrisers where he scored at under 100 strike rate, which is so far, 5-10 years ago, yeah, the odd innings like that, you can win a game or two. But now, as Joy mentioned, just before the first 6 overs, you have to be striking at 150 plus minimum. I just don't think his game is you look at someone like Phil Salt. Phil Salt plays baseball. From the get-go, he just played. Jake Fraser-McGirt, what does he say? Baseball. KL Rahul is a player.
Yes.
He's a player that I like to watch. He's pure. So I think sometimes some of these players that have played so purely for so long, this new way of playing T20 cricket, it's almost surpassed the way that they've played. And I don't want him to change it all because I think he's got a few more years playing Test match cricket, 50-over cricket, but T20 cricket, he might just have to change one or two things and play a few more tricks early, maybe a few ramps and use the pace. But I certainly don't want him to change too much. I think he's a lovely player to watch.
But Joyda, we've also seen him hit those 14-ball 50s and we know he can, move the gears quickly. So why isn't he doing it this season?
I think Rahul, and I'll be very honest with you, he's one of those, he's like one of those good kids who's a good student. He studies hard, practices hard. I think he overthinks. And I think the first thing I'd do for Rahul is don't make him captain. Just take that away from him. Say, go. You're a brilliant batter. You're a destructive batter when you want to be. Just go, play the game. Don't worry about whether your team is winning, losing. You go and smash the ball. And I think sometimes, and Michael has done it so often in his career, that just knowing how much a player needs to know to free them to play their game. And I think somebody just needs to free Rahul. If you see Rahul, when his best innings, it's always when a captain like a Virat or Dhoni said, go, just do your thing.
Yes.
And we're there now, you go, do your thing. Rahul's, right now, he looks like a person who's overthinking everything.
But, in this show, I think we've spoken about Hardik, Rohit and now KL's captaincy. So you all not see him coming back as captain next season?
I just don't understand this desperation to be captains of a team. I get the desperation to want to captain your country. In Test match cricket, 50, I get that. But in T20 cricket, honestly, I think it's a pain in the backside. I mean, just go and play. Just go and play and just enjoy the game. And this desperation to be a leader, whether it brings more profile, more commercial opportunities, I'm not too sure. But I don't get the desperation to be a T20 franchise captain. I can only imagine, as George just mentioned, it's not just watching the ball and playing. You've got to manage up. And above his owners and many, many owners probably trying to tell you, why didn't you play X? Why didn't you do Y? You don't get a lot of that in the international game because you've not got owners. You just
Correct.
You're captaining your country and you've got a coach. You might have a chairman of the BCCI or the ECB, but they generally don't get involved. Yeah. Whereas when you're captaining a franchise, the owners, they're there every single day telling you what you should have done. You go, well, you're paying us to play cricket. You're then telling us how to play cricket. Just let us play.
Yes.
So I do think, and I always get perplexed why all these players want to be captains of a franchise. I'd be running away from it.
He's a smart man. He's a very smart man.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of captains,
cricket, yes.
and he's absolutely right. No, because it's all, when we talk in management terms, it's about the number of stakeholders you need to manage. And what happens is that you have one most huge stakeholder, which is the owners.
Yes.
Okay? And your fans also, because there's a closer relationship. So when you're playing international cricket, you're away somewhere, you're playing, you're winning, losing, your coach is there. Here there are too many stakeholders right next to you. And if you happen to be in a team where there are two owners who don't like each other, then you're handling two stakeholders, two more stakeholders. So it's a very difficult thing to
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah. And the only reason, why is one of the reasons it works so well with Dhoni? because nobody interferes.
No
in
one
anything.
interferes, yes.
Nobody interferes. And Domini and Fleming go their merry way and do what they want to. And one of the secrets of their success is how little interference their management has in their cricket.
Well, you spoke about stakeholders. We have two stakeholders on the table I want to show you all because you've been away. So I want to just refresh your memory there, Michael. Things haven't moved too much for you because
So
you
I'm level
and
with Gilly, yeah?
You've been with Gilly. What has moved is Mr. Joy Bhattacharya has been and Simon Dewell have been both climbing that chart very quietly.
How's GK at the top?
GK is not moved. He's just he's
GK is now, he actually is missing shifts so that he doesn't have to
he's saying I don't want to come to work because of being number one. But Michael, you're in after a long flight, so we give you the chance to go first.
So batting first at the 1KD. It's been about 175. I'm going to go 190.
Particle and Rahul opening, yeah.
196.
I know. I mean, we thought Particle would be opening from the very start. That's why they traded him
Yes,
for
that's why they
Khan,
traded him,
and
but-
then it never worked. I'm actually going to go lower because... No, wait. We don't have... We have Arjun
No Bumrah.
And no Bumrah.
No Bumrah. Okay, what did you say?
196.
No, I'll still stay. 181.
You'll still stay lower.
I'll still stay lower.
I am going to go with
You're going
206.
206.
Yes.
Okay.
Because like you said, now he wants to not have the pressure. Hopefully KL has a good day today. Let's hope we have a good day and we can answer his question.
I want a bullseye.
Yeah. I'm
That's
okay
what
without a
96.
bull.
He's going for
I want a
bullseye.
bullseye.
Okay. On his one-day international debut in a World Cup game versus Australia, this cricketer was the highest run getter for his side. In the same year, he was dismissed twice for a duck in his only test, and I want to add to this, playing for a different country. Name him. So I'll show the... Can we just have the question again? So on his debut, highest run getter, in the same year he was dismissed twice in a duck, playing a only test for a different country.
Michael, it's been a long flight, so I'm not going to put you through this right now. You can go to the green room and think. So we have the time. The innings has started, so we are going to go out and catch that. But we will be catching you all at the 10-over point at the Cricbuzz Combox. So we will see you all there very soon.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें